Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to Akron Zips Dynasty mode here in CFB 26. So in last episode, if you did not catch it, we had the off season and we're ready to go for the 2030 season. I think this year, obviously, we have championship aspirations for the MAC. I think last year, obviously, losing in the finals was a good learning experience for the guys. But this year, we are definitely looking a lot better on paper. It's not just our depth, but we do have very good ratings. A lot of players are getting good growth. So I'm very excited to see what this team could do this season. Obviously, last year was definitely a surprising year in a way. I knew we were going to be good, but I didn't realize we were going to be that good. But this year, we definitely should take another step up here. If we go to like the conference standings, for instance, here, you can see that we're currently rated a 77 overall with 76 offense and 79 defense, which if we compare that to every other team in this conference, you can see Eastern Michigan's definitely not as good as us. They did beat us last year, though, despite being worse than us. Toledo is also not as good as us. Western Michigan isn't. Like, the only team that's really good that compares to us is Miami. And Miami obviously didn't even make the finals last year, but honestly, it could end up becoming us in Miami potentially for the MAC, my guess. Aside from that, there's not really any other threats other than Buffalo kind of a bit. Everybody else is definitely lower end. North Illinois has a good offense, but their defense needs work. So, yeah, I'm just excited to see if this team can build off of a really good year last year. We're starting to actually get this team into being a decent one. So, hopefully we stay healthy. Hopefully we don't suffer any crazy injuries this season. And hopefully we also could get some good recruits for next season as well, because we kind of need players there just in case we end up losing guys to graduation or people decide to transfer due to like conference prestige or something like that. So that's that. So anyways, there was no comments in last episode, so I think we are ready to go for another season. So let's start up with our recruiting, of course, and do all this. It's not really nonsense, but it's a lot of extra work, but we'll obviously look into some recruits here. So now the good thing is, though, there's actually recommended prospects that are 3-star rated, so we're good enough that we could bring in 3-star guys quite easily. We're obviously still going to be targeting some 4-stars as well, just in case. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to probably do, let's see, maybe 1 4-star recruit in the major areas of need, and then 3-star recruits in the other areas. I'm not really too sure how we'll set it up, but let's start by looking at halfback, because apparently we need 4 of those, so we might as well make one of them a 4-star recruit. So Rasheem DeBeer needs playing time. I guess we'll go with playing time, so let's look into him maybe a bit. I don't know if we'll be able to really compete for some of these guys, but we might as well try. No harm in trying for a big name player. Offensive tackle, we also look for a 4-star here as well, because we have 6 that we need. So that's a lot. Playing time for Jamal Ellis, and we will also do another one for proximity home for Vernon Rowe. So we'll do 2 guys there just because that's a drastic need. O-guard, we need 4 as well, so we might as well throw in 1 on this list. Playing time for him. And then I guess we should do 1 4-star edge rusher and outside linebacker and cornerback. I don't really even know, man. We need a lot of things, and I don't know if we're going to be able to get everything kind of that we need, but let's at least throw our name into the hat for some of these dudes and see if we could work on them. If not, then obviously 3 stars are where we're going to go next, but playing time for DeMarcus Session. We'll also go to a cornerback, because if we could even get 1 4-star recruit this year, that'd be great. But obviously the chances of that might be slim still. I'm not too sure. Playing time for Pat Yazzie. Sure, we'll take that. And then we'll go strong safety as well, which apparently there's no 4-star strong safety, so I guess we're going to just have to go to a 3-star for them. But that's okay. Who do we want to go with strong safety? Just want to make sure there's at least a person in every major category that we need. Matthew Nagy. His is playing time, so we'll add him to our thing. And then obviously we still need a lot more, so we might as well add some more targets to our list. We do need a punter, apparently, which is interesting. We might as well put him on our list, but honestly, it's not going to matter until the end of the season, probably. And then we need still some more other 3-star options. So let's look at some quarterbacks. Like, let's go to Ellington, maybe. Maybe not him. proximity to home's not the greatest, not this guy, but with Osgood it's good, so let's put Osgood on that. We'll also do one wide receiver, that's a 3-star. I really hope we could land some good players this year, but then again, recruiting is not always that easy. Let's see, anybody that works? Well, Maggio, sure. Tight end. Apparently we need a tight end, so let's look for a tight end. Some of these guys we might not even put any hours to initially, but we just want to have them on our list, at least to start. Ragamba. Aside from that, we do need a center as well. So we could look at Bergman probably as that guy for playing time. Defensive tackle, man, we need a lot of things. It's actually kind of insane how much we need. This guy was what, procs to home, but kind of low. Playing time for white hair. What a last name. He doesn't have white hair though. Mike, let's see what we got for the Mike. Ruggs is coach prestige. Playing time for Brian Vales, sure. And then one free safety as well. So we'll look into this. Proximity to home would be good. Or playing time. Let's see. Gilliam, playing style. Coach prestige. Prox to home, perfect for Witherspoon. Alright, so we at least have one person in every single area we're looking into. We have 450 hours, which means obviously we can't spend all these hours on all these guys. But initially, we could at least send a scholarship on all of them, because I don't think right now I could, yeah, I can't do anything else other than send them a scholarship. So we're going to send every single one of these guys at least a scholarship, just to start off things. And then obviously next week we'll obviously start addressing the hours a little bit better. But for right now, scholarships are just going to be thrown out like candy. And maybe that'll help us get some general interest on these guys too, even if we don't put hours into them initially. Because some of these guys are not going to have any hours for sure spent on them. Like, we're probably going to go all in kind of with the 4-star recruits again like we did last year, and then eventually win our way down to the 3-star guys. But there we go. We technically still have 370 hours, so technically I could add more people, so we have 35 people on this list. That might not be a bad idea, so that way we're just sending the scholarships to 35 people. And then if they already leave us from our list, we could always just, should I do it? Yeah, you know what? I think we need to use more hours. We might as well do that, because last year I don't think we did that. So let's look for more people that we can potentially bring in. So for quarterbacks, there's this guy who has us actually second on his list, so we might as well throw him on there since we're second on his list. You know, he is a JUCO. Halfback, we apparently need 4, but I will just add another one if there's one that has us high up, which there's only 2-star ones that have us high up, it looks like. Yeah, there is only. So we're going to go to 3 stars here and see if we could work on a 3-star. Ooh, this guy has us as second. It didn't say him before, though, so we'll add him. Wide receiver. Let's go to this here. Wide receiver. This guy has us as first. Brock York. Pro potential. We're just going to add people that have us high up on their list, maybe. That's not a bad idea, because they'll have a good amount of interest off the hop, potentially. Tight end, we will also add, I guess, this guy, since he has a second. I'm not really looking at their deal breakers right now. Just trying to add more people to send scholarships to. We do need a lot of tackles, which is a major, major need. This guy has his first, so we'll add him. And we might as well add one of these guys that have us as third as well. And guard, we're almost at, we still have 13 spots available. Just want to make sure that we're at least targeting as much as possible, kind of initially. Let's go with that guy, Treadwell. Edge rusher, we might as well look into a couple of these guys. This guy has procs to home, doesn't have us high up on his list. This guy has us third. I might as well have him since he's third. Defensive tackle. We already have one of the 2. Might as well throw another one on this list. This guy has us as first, so we'll add him. If they have us as number 1, that's always a good thing. So, outside linebacker, let's add another one of this guy. This guy has us as number 1. And we'll add another Mike. We're almost getting close to max players on our list. These guys all have us as first. Might as well add... We already have Vales on our list, so we might as well add another guy that has this as number 1. I'm not too sure. Cornerback, apparently we need a couple of these guys, so let's do Lord. And then for strong safety, we'll also put this Fabujier guy because he has this as number 1. So we're at 29 out of 35 now. We'll add send scholarships to all these dudes as well. And that will help us get at least a lot more interest throughout our prospects rather than... because I think last year we didn't offer scholarships to a max of 35. It doesn't matter. If they reject us, then obviously these scholarship things disappear and stuff anyways. So we'll get them back. Might as well send them right now and try our best to fill in the areas that we're going to potentially need for next season. So hopefully a lot of these guys get some good interest off the scholarship and then whatever we spend on them in the next week. So 29 out of 35, I think that's a good way to start off with. We do still have a lot of hours, but you can't really utilize all those hours within the initial week. So let's simulate to the next week and see what we're working with here. And I think we'll probably spend 50 hours on most of the 4-star recruits early on. Apparently, we already got locked out by session, which is actually kind of insane because we haven't even simulated technically that much. But oh well, at least it's a 4-star that we don't have to worry about sending 50 hours to. But we will definitely have to look for a 3-star Will, I guess, at this point. But that's kind of crazy. He already reached his top 8. Everybody else has this as number 1 currently, which we already know about these guys having us as number 1 before. But, kind of surprised that we got locked out that fast. All right, let's go back to recruiting. We're in week 0. So this is obviously where we got to start spending a lot of hours. Let's take Session off this list. Do we have a Will already on our list here? We do not. Oh, no, we do have a 3-star one. Okay. So this guy, obviously, is somebody we need to work hard on. Just because now that we're out of the race already, I don't think it's worth. We could always look for another 4-star Will if there's one out there instead of that 3-star guy. Let's take a look and see if there's one out there. Let's see if there's one out there. So we'll go to 4-star. Is there one that has us potentially high on his list? No, maybe not. Playing time for Jimmy LeCounte. Let's add him, and we'll send him a scholarship as well. He'll be the replacement potentially for the other guy that already just locked us out. He's actually technically a Sam now, so you know what? We'll move him, actually. We'll try and find somebody else. I didn't even realize he was a Sam. I guess it's technically... doesn't matter if he's a Sam or a Will, but we want a Will that's a 4-star if potentially there is one that fits our needs. Somebody like, Percy Sizemore fits perfectly in that sense. So let's go back to Sizemore. Let's send him also a scholarship. I don't know if we're going to be able to get somebody like that, but we're obviously going to be sending a lot of hours on these 4-star recruits. So how many 4-star recruits do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that'd be 6 times 50, which is 300. And then we wouldn't be able to put full into Sizemore. All right. So yeah, no 3-star recruits are going to get any hours spent on them yet, but we are going to put some hours into Sizemore, 40, and then technically, I guess all these guys are going to get sent to house, basically. And we won't have any more hours left, I don't think, after that. But we will be able to start looking at those 3-star recruits if these guys start locking us out fast, which honestly I have no idea if that's going to happen or not. Let's put 5 hours as well into somebody like Nagy for fun too while we're at it, so we can actually utilize all our hours. So it's a lot of early hours getting spent on these 4-star recruits, but obviously we got to make a good jump in the beginning rather than too late. So there we go. That's all set up and ready to go. We don't have any games in this first week, so we might as well already advance to week number 1 and see what we get for some initial interest. And hopefully it's some good initial interest. If it's not, it's going to be a little bit problematic. Looks like we're already getting locked out by a couple of those 4-star guys. All right. Well, that's going to make things a little bit easier. We might as well target 3-star guys too. Yeah, De Beer has reached his top 8 schools. We're currently at number 5, so we've made his list pretty high up already. Augustine has reached his top 8 schools. We're currently in 7th, but we've already been locked out by Corbin Rossi and also by Pat Yazzie. But then all these 3-star guys, we're currently in 4th in a couple of them and 1st on a lot of them as well. All right. And that's just with sending a scholarship too, and them being high on or us being high on their list, I should say. So, damn, we have a game against Colorado State to start off the season. That must be like that game that we had last year against UCLA, right? Never mind, they're not actually that tough, so we should be able to beat them. But let's first go to recruiting here. And we will obviously take those 4-star guys off our list. We just barely got locked out of these guys, so I guess we'll spend some more hours into some 3-star guys because we now have 105 hours. So let's see what we could do with this. Let's remove this, so we'll have 110 hours. Let's do a good old 10 hours on a lot of these 3-star recruits. I don't need to do it on the punter yet because I don't think he's going to get a lot of initial interests. But yeah, let's spend 10 hours on a lot of dudes so we're getting as much people as possible with some hours spent on them. Because we want to bring in players this year. We don't want to not get every single player. Well, we're going to not get every single player, but I want to get as much people as we can if possible. Whittinson, he's a JUCO. I'm not going to put him on 10 hours yet. Let's add 10 more to all you. Enjoy the 10 hours spent. There you go. And then those 4-stars that still have potentially interest in us, we'll leave 50 hours on them for now. But we might get locked out on guys like Ellis and Rowe here soon enough, potentially. So that's all good. Ready to go. We could technically look at some other recruits if we really wanted, but I'm not going to do that just yet. All right. So our first game of the season, like I said, is against Colorado State. Technically, they have a 72 overall rating, which is lower than us. They're 74 offense and 71 defense. So this is a winnable game. We should be able to beat them, but obviously it could end up being a loss. So let's see how our first game of the season ends up. And yeah, hopefully this team gets off to a good start this year. Let's see, Colorado State, can we beat them in our first meeting? We'll find that out shortly after this recruiting stuff. We did get locked out by a 3-star. That's kind of surprising. All right, we'll come back to that in a second. We did win that first game as we get 1,600 XP, so that's good to see. We are now 1-0 to start the year. Championship contenders jumped up to C+. Everything else is staying the same. Yeah, Vernon Rowe has reached his top 8 schools. We're currently number 1, and that's a 4-star recruit, so that's a good way to start off at least. Ragumba, though, has locked us out, unfortunately, so we will not be getting him, so that means we need to put more hours into probably a different tight end if we didn't put any hours into him, which we might not have put any hours into Ragumba anyways, so maybe that's why he locked us out. Day has reached his top 8 schools. We're currently number 1, and Sizemore has reached his top 8 schools. We're currently number 3. But we are behind Florida Gators, which is not great because the Florida Gators obviously are still way better than us, so I'm not too sure if we're going to land somebody like Sizemore, but it would be nice if we could. Alright, so a solid first week. Obviously, I'm kind of curious on the scoreline from that game, which we'll come to that in a second. But since we just got locked out by a guy, we might as well remove him from our list. And I guess we did actually spend 10 hours on him, so he just locked us out quite quick. Alright, and that was a tight end, so good that we already have Lockett having hours spent on him too. We might as well put some more hours into Sizemore, since technically now we can. So let's do a full 50 on him, and maybe that could help us leapfrog the Gators a bit. So we'll do that. And that should be good, but currently if we look at the updates on these prospects, we're currently apparently number 2 for the beer. We're in a tight race with a lot of these guys, but it's early on, so I'm not going to focus on this too much, but some good initial interest it looks like on some of these guys at least. So there you go. There we go. Let's take a look at how our first game went. How close it was, or did we just blow them up? Hopefully we didn't have any injuries after that first game. Let's take a look at that quickly too. Oh my goodness, we did have an injury in that first game, and it was Bill Clements of all people too, which he is a pretty damn good defensive tackle. Our ratings didn't change, I don't think, with his injury, but that's still a pretty bad injury to have this season. Broken collarbone, out for 7 weeks, which means he will be back before the end of the season, I think, at this rate, but definitely a tough injury to start off with for him. Man, these injuries happen every single game almost. Well, not every single game, but close enough. But let's take a look at the scoreline from the first week of the season. See how that game went for us, because obviously we know we won it, but I'm curious on what scoreline The answer to that is 44-36. So a pretty close game. We did give up a lot, but maybe that defensive tackle injury kind of played a factor in that. But in terms of stat lines, Jennings threw 347 yards. Looks like he's going to have another really good year potentially. And then rushing yard-wise, Branham had 99 yards. Receiving yards, Carter had 98. North had 90. Damiani 86. And only 37 from Robert Thomas. And apparently Thomas is not getting a lot of playing time right now. That's not ideal. Let me go back to our depth chart for a second, because Thomas might end up leaving if we do that. So if we go back to our depth chart here, where is he in our wide receiver depth chart? Because we have a lot of good wide receivers right now. He's currently tied for second, or tied for first technically in ranking. I don't know why he's not getting a lot of playing time, but hopefully he gets more playing time as the season goes on. I don't really know if there's anything I could do about that. So anyways, there's our first game of the season. The next game we are taking on New Mexico, the Lobos apparently, or whatever it's pronounced as. They're all 66s across the board. This should be another win. So let's go through week number 2. See if we could start off the season at 2-0, which I feel like should be the case unless this game wants to give us randomly a loss. But second game of the season, we'll find out if we win it here shortly. Looks like we didn't get locked out by anybody, which is good. And the answer to that is a loss. 330 XP, that's definitely a loss, right? Yeah, we just lost to a team that's way worse than us. I feel like the game sometimes just gives you a loss randomly like that. Like, that's definitely a team that we should beat, but we didn't. Like, we beat a better team in the first week, but lose in the second week. Oh well, at least it's early. Get those losses out of the way early rather than later, I guess. Last year we did end the season off on a good winning streak, so maybe end of the season we're going to go on a tear again, but we're currently number 1 for Vales right now. He's already reached his top 5. We're number 2 for Kuma. He's reached his top 5. Ellis has reached his top 8. We're number 1 on this 4-star recruit, so that's good. Nagy we're currently number 1 on as he's reached his top 8, and same goes with Duke Feely, which is a funny name. All right. So 1-1 to start the season. Definitely not great to lose that last game, but maybe it was by a small margin, but definitely kind of surprised we lost that one. Let's take a look at the score in that game. It probably was a close game, I would assume, man, right? It can't be like we just got blown out by a lower team, right? Yeah, it was a close game. We lost by basically a kick, 24-21. So a tough loss, but one that obviously wasn't like a really bad loss. But we definitely need to learn from that. Looks like another solid game from Jennings, over 300 yards. Looks like North had a good game in terms of receiving. But once again, like Thomas only 59. Griffin had 21 only. Damn. Griffin was really good last season, so to see him only having 21 yards in a game is kind of surprising. But yeah, I'm really hoping we don't lose a lot of people this season, but there is a chance, obviously, that we could. This might be the last run that this team has. All right, so there's that. Let's go back to recruiting here. Do we want to start spreading around the hours a little bit? Not yet. Not yet. Maybe soon. Maybe we'll do that more next episode. But we're definitely in a strong competition for some of these 4-stars. But right now we're first and second on all these guys. And then Augustine is probably going to be a tough one to win, with the Gators being number 1 potentially. But obviously always good to try for them. And we got to start spending more hours on some of these other guys. Apparently we could already do a visit for Vales. How much does his visits cost? 10. We might as well schedule a visit for him, to be honest, with those 10 hours. So let's see. FCS East is usually pretty bad, so let's schedule a visit for that game. We should be able to beat them. And let's give him an attend position meeting thing. There's 10 hours spent. And he's already going to be on a visit, I guess, technically next week, I believe. So might as well do a visit for him already. Even though he's a 3-star recruit, might as well get some initial interest up a little bit higher, because we should be able to beat a team like that. This week, though, we are taking on James Madison, who's definitely worse than us as well, but they could end up beating us. They are worse than the Lobos, who we just lost to, so this should be a win. But once again, anything could happen. So how will we respond after last week's loss? Will we find a way to beat James Madison? I think they beat us last year, if I remember right, or maybe we beat them. But I'm hoping, obviously, for a bigger response after last game. So Let's see. Can we go 2-1 to start the season, or are we going to find a way to lose to another bad team? Well, I wouldn't say a bad team, but a worse team than us, technically. Looks like we got locked out by that center because we didn't spend any hours into him, but we'll come back to that. And we did win that game. Okay, that's good. We got 1,400 XP. And championship contender dropped, apparently. But we did win that game. So we are 2-1 on the season now, which is good. Vales has reached his... he's visiting this week. That's what it is. It hasn't reached his top 5 schools. But he's visiting this week. He could end up being a really fast recruit to join our team, which is exciting. De Beers reached his top 5 schools. We're currently second. That means we could probably schedule a visit with him already as a 4-star recruit. And same goes with Augustine, which is good. Lowe's reached his top 5 schools. Looks like a lot of people are already reaching their top 5s, but we did get locked out by Bergman. But like I said, I don't think we spent any hours into him anyways, so there you go. Anything interesting? Larry North, the MAC Offensive Player of the Week against James Madison. He had 9 receives, or whatever you want to call that friggin' term. 172 yards and 2 touchdowns. 172 yards is an impressive week, so shout out to Larry North, who's having a good year so far. All right, this game should be hopefully a win, but let's first and foremost get rid of this notification of Players of the Week, because we've already seen that. Let's go to recruiting. I think we could start scheduling, visits on a lot of these dudes. So we might as well schedule visits on these 4-star recruits already too. They cost 40 a piece, but we might as well do it because obviously we should take advantage of it. We don't have any games all the way up until Buffalo, which is a team that we could lose to. So do I want to schedule it just for the bye week? Not really. It's kind of dangerous scheduling against Buffalo, so I'm going to schedule instead for against Toledo for De Beer. Just because, why not? Last year, I think Toledo actually did beat us, though. And then we still have some hours to spend on him, so we might as well get the max spent on him that we can. Ellis doesn't have a scheduled visit yet. Augustine could schedule a visit, so we might as well remove the send to house and schedule his visit. Let's go for, once again, against Toledo. I really hope we can beat Toledo. Actually, let's make him against... no, we should probably go against Toledo. Let's go against Toledo, sure. I really hope that these 4-star guys get enough hours spent on them, though, too. I'm kind of scared about just scheduling visits for them, but we want them to join our team, of course. We did get locked up by Bergman, so let's remove him. Vales is visiting already this week, which is kind of insane it's that fast. Everything else should be fine, though. So we have no hours left to spend, and that should be set up and ready to go. Perfect, okay. So that's all good. We might have some more interest coming in the next few weeks, but this is our first player visiting this week. We have a 3-star recruit, so it's nothing crazy, but he's visiting. Hopefully we can win this game. We should be able to. That's why I scheduled him to come here. Showing James Madison stats, but FCS East is usually pretty bad, so we should be able to win this game, and we should be able to go 3-1 if we do play good enough. Let's take a look at a score, though, from last week and see how our game went. Looks like we beat James Madison 39-35, so another pretty damn close game, but we do end up beating them. In terms of player stats, looks like Jennings threw over 300 yards again, but was only 49% completion rate. Interesting. 52% for rushing yards from Branham. Receiving yards, 172 from North. Damn, man. Yeah, North is really good. North is really good. Okay. So I do need to think about potentially for this game using Niles Sharp, because I know he wasn't happy with his playing time last season. Since this should be a winnable game, maybe we give Sharp a game at least this season. I don't know how we're going to get Kennedy playing time this year, to be honest. I just don't. So, let's give Sharp a game, and then Jennings will come back in next game. I think Sharp will start this game if I do it like that. But yeah, we'll give Sharp this game, and I think that's good. So let's advance to next week and see if we can go 3-1 and see how Sharp does as the quarterback. We'll go back to Jennings, obviously, for the game afterwards, but we might as well give Sharp at least one game this season. So looks like some 4-stars are still keeping us in, which is good, and we did win that game too. So that's why we put in Sharp. Hopefully he was actually in, but we're 3-1 now on the season. As expected, this team's off to a good start this year. But in terms of those recruits, as I was just mentioning, we are still number 1 on 2 4-star recruits and a 3-star, as they've all reached their top 5 schools as well. So looks like we could start scheduling visits with Rowe and Sizemore as well at this point, which is good. So which we probably will lean towards doing. All right, let's go back to our depth chart here shortly and move Sharp back to second just because Jennings will get to play again. But I'm curious on how Sharp's first game went. I guess I don't think he got to play at all last year, but let's go to, where is it? Scores and schedules to see how that game went. Probably should have been a pretty easy victory, my guess. Let's see. Oh yeah, 38-7. Yeah, see, we always blow out that team, so we're always pretty good against them. But yeah, Sharp threw 279 yards to 60% completion rate, so that's a pretty good first game for Sharp, which is good to see that he had a good game, because obviously if Jennings eventually leaves, Sharp could be the guy that replaces him if he wants to stick around. I don't think there's really anything I could do about Kennedy unless I put him in near the end of the season, but there's that. Rushing yards, 76 from Branham. Receiving yards, 94 from JoJo Carter. Thomas was up there with 70. All right. So there's that. The question is now about those recruits. Let's go back to here. We have hours suspended, apparently, because I guess we got locked out by somebody. Yes, we did. All right. It's because we have other guys in that position, I think. But let's see what we could do here in terms of scheduling some visits. Looks like Augustine we fell down to 4th on, which is unfortunate, but he does have obviously that visit coming in a few weeks. Now, though, we should be able to send a house on him because that week is done, right? I think. Yes, we can. Perfect. So we'll do that. Same goes with the beer. We're doing the same thing. Go back to sending a house on these guys. It's just about obviously getting that visit scheduled out last week. So we'll do that now. And then we'll come back to Row here. And we will take off send a house for the time being so we could schedule a visit. Complimentary visits there. So let's just do against Toledo again. Everybody's going to come watch us play Toledo, which if we lose that game, that's going to suck. But let's do a family visit for him because we are just that type of person. So let's do 25, 10, and can I do a 5er still? Yes, I can. I don't think I could do a 50 on him, but there you go. Some hours spent. And we'll have to go down to the other 4-star recruit, which is Sizemore. We'll remove his 50, schedule his visit. He's got also a complimentary visit, so everybody's going to come against Toledo. And we will do... You don't even know his deal breakers fully really that much. Oh boy, I didn't even realize that. We'll still have him come anyways. I don't know what's most important to him. Do we know what's most important? Proximity to home. So I guess a schedule, a family visit would be good. So let's do a family visit for him. Which, where is the family visit? Oh, there it is. Yeah, let's do that, sure. And then we'll spend obviously some more hours on him for the time being. We still have 5 hours, so we might as well spend that 5 hours on one of these other prospects. So let's just throw a random 5er to somebody like Maggio. Sure. That is good and should be good to go. Perfect. All right. So that's all set up and ready to go. We are 3-1 on the season. We're playing Ball State next, which they are 1-2 at the moment. They are definitely really bad defensively. That might be the worst defensive rating I've seen at this point. So we should be able to win this game, and we should be 4-1 at the end of this week. No questions asked about that. Currently, we are the second best team in our conference, technically behind Western Michigan this time. Seems like it's always a Michigan team, but let's go past this week and see if we could beat Ball State and go 4-1. Hopefully we can find a way to win. I meant to check if there was any injuries, but I didn't look yet. And it looks like some more people are reaching their top 5 in 3 schools and stuff, so that's all good. We did not win that game. Damn, man, that's a sucks. We've lost to 2 teams we should have won. So our championship contender continues to drop off. We are now 3-2 as we lost our first conference matchup. 0-1 against the conference. That's not good. I don't know how we lost that game, but at least we're doing some good stuff with the recruits still so far, it looks like, which is good to see. But That's surprising that we're off to a little bit of not necessarily a rocky start, but we got to get better. We got to get better. So hopefully we could find that consistency. I don't know if there was a major injury or something, but we lost 44-37. I feel like we've been giving up a lot of points in some of these games, but losing by basically like a touchdown in a little bit, I guess. But Jennings threw 430 yards, yet his completion rate was somehow below 50%. So he's throwing up a lot of balls, but we're just not completing those passes as much, which is interesting. Thomas had 186 yards, damn. All right, doesn't look like it was a bad game for us, but definitely one we should have probably found a way to win. So hopefully next week is better. Obviously, this is a bye week currently, so let's go to recruiting again and see what we're working with. So these guys that we scheduled the visits for, now we should be able to remove this and once again send the house. So we'll do that. And that way we could have a full 50 spent on them. We're trying our absolute hardest to get these 4-star recruits in. Apparently we could schedule a visit with Ellis now, so we might as well do that as well for him. He can't come here, and it would be a competitive visit anyways. So we might as well have him come against Bowling Green. I don't really know. He's going to be the only one coming against Bowling Green so far, but let's just do that. And we should be able to spend only 25 more hours on him, right? Oh, more than that. Never mind. We have 10 more hours still. Okay, that's good. Let's put some more hours into Nagy. And sure to Osgood as well. I honestly don't know. And then Maggio, we could apparently already schedule a visit with. He's a 3-star recruit, so it's not as important, in my opinion, to schedule a visit. So we'll just leave those guys. Same with Witherspoon. But looks like we're doing pretty good here so far in terms of these 4-star recruits. But obviously we could end up losing them in a snap of a finger. So we got to be careful. We can't put 50 hours on him. Yeah, damn, I thought we could. Never mind. Keep that 40 on Sizemore, I guess, for the time being. Oh, wait a sec. If I remove all these and then schedule visit. Did I schedule a visit? Yeah, I did already schedule a visit. So I should be able to remove all these then. Actually, no, never mind. We just scheduled that visit, right? Honestly, don't even know. A lot of confusion here, but let's continue to work on those guys. All of our hours are spent. And let's go through this bye week. Hopefully, let's take a look at the team health, actually, since we're in the bye week. Is there any other injuries? Yes, there has been. Mayette also broke his collarbone. So 2 defensive tackles both broke their collarbone. And he's out for 4 weeks. Clements will be back in 3 weeks. So at least these guys should be back soon. But obviously, that's maybe why we're giving up more touchdowns and stuff like that. Is because our defensive tackles keep breaking their collarbones. But nothing we could really do about that. So let's advance to next week. And this will be a nice little week for those guys to hopefully get closer and closer to being healthy. So obviously we don't have to worry about the Stanleys and stuff. But Osgood's reached his top 5 schools. Same with Whitehair and York. We have been locked out by somebody because somebody just committed to another school, which I didn't even realize they were in their top 3. But that was Deshaun Augustine. So he's already committed to Georgia Tech, so I guess he's going to be removed. Kuma has committed to Cincinnati, which I honestly don't know how these guys just randomly committed that fast because I didn't think they were that high up already, but I guess they were. So that will save us some hours at least. But yeah, Augustine unfortunately has to be removed. And same goes with Mr. Kuma. But that will give us 75 hours left now, which is good. So now I should be able to go back to here again and spend a full 50 on Ellis and also Sizemore too, I think. If I'm not mistaken. Let's see. I think so at least. Let's go. Boom. Perfect. And let's go back down to Sizemore as well. Spend a full 50 on these guys. And then with the remaining hours, we could spend on some of our 3-stars. Which we have 55 hours now. So let's put a little bit of hours into this guy. 5 hours only, just because nothing crazy. Vales doesn't have really a lot of hours spent at him, despite that visit that he had before. Which is funny. But yeah, let's spend some 10 hours on some of these people, get some more interests, hopefully. Because some of these guys have had no hours spent on them whatsoever at this point. But we might as well spend some into them. Alright, so that is all set up and ready to go. Hours are spent. Who are we playing this week? Oh, it's another bye week, damn. Back-to-back weeks with our team not having a single game. I mean, that's good at least for those guys that were injured, but obviously those guys that are playing, having 2 weeks with no game, it's kind of crazy. But let's go to next week. And yeah, those 2 defensive tackles should be back within the next 2 to 3 weeks, 1 to 2 weeks, something like that. De Beers reached his top 3 schools. We're currently number 2, though. Oh, boy. That's not ideal. We are currently number 2 on De Beer. We need a lot of hours spent into him in order to win him. I don't know if we're going to win these 4-star recruits. I just wanted to try for more 4-star guys, but we might end up not winning them. And now we have a tough game coming up, too, which is not great. But we don't have any hours to spend, so I'm going to just probably keep it like this for the time being. Yeah, we might as well. All right, so this is a tough game. Both of us are 3-2 right now, which obviously I think we both should be technically better, but it's a very big game here. Us versus Miami. Both of us have really good ratings, and both of us have average seasons right now. We need to find a way to win this. Currently, we're in 10th in the conference, so this is a very big game, like I said. Last few years that we played them, I feel like we haven't played that great, but I can't remember. This is a big one, though. Last year, they just barely missed the finals or the championship because we won that last game of the season. So let's see what happens in this game. And hopefully the team can stay healthy, and hopefully we could find a way to win this one and start winning a lot more games in this second half. Because technically the rest of the season, I think, is the second half right now. So let's begin, and let's see if we can beat Miami. Come on, guys. Give me a victory. I know they're a tough team, but let's beat them. Let's show that we can beat good teams. As we got some updates on some guys. We'll come back to that in a second. 220 XP, so we lost that game. So we are now 500 as we have fallen to 11th in our division, our conference, or whatever you want to say. Those defensive injuries might have hurt us, but we have a 79 rated defense still. So I feel like at some stage this team's going to go on a good run, but we're 0-2 versus the conference. We need to really change our tides of the season here soon, or else this is going to be a disaster of a year. But, yeah, looks like a lot of guys are reaching updates, and it's mostly the 3 stars, so that's good to see for them. Oh, my goodness. And now we have a game against 5-1 Buffalo, too. Well, this is going to be also tough. Buffalo's another good team, of course, and they've won both their games against this conference. So, this is going to be a tough one. If we beat them, we could definitely beat any team coming up. But we do have a visits, I guess, coming next week. But let me go to the injury report here. Are those guys back yet that I was mentioning? No. And, oh, no. Kevin Lett has got injured recently with a broken ankle. He's out for the rest of the year. Well, that's definitely something that's going to hurt us a bit. Mayette will be back next week. I guess Clements is already back this week, which is good defensively. But, yeah, Kevin Lett being injured kind of sucks. But it is what it is. All right. Seems like we've been having some injury trouble the last few years. Let's go to scores and schedules. How bad was last week's game? Was it at least a close game? Because I know we've been giving up a lot of scoring. 31-24. I mean, that's close, but yeah, we need to really have a good second half here if we want to have a chance to get back to the championship game. 270 yards, 44% completion. Jennings is having a little bit of a tough time the last few games with completion percentage. Branham 84 yards, receiving 91 from Thomas. All right, so if we win this game, maybe that will just give us some momentum because this is a really good team we're going up against. If we could win it, we definitely could start going on a good run. So even though this is going to be a tough matchup, believe in this team, believe in Akron. Come on, let's get it going. And I will leave the hours spent currently already, I think. So, can we beat Buffalo? Nobody's beaten them in a while, I guess. Can we go back to being above 500? Or are we going to be below 500? Oh, man, Rasheem DeBeer's already accepted somebody else, even though he's visiting this week. That sucks. 460 XP we lost. Holy crap, man. Why is this team not so good this year? Championship contenders dropped to D+. Wow. You'd think with our ratings we'd be much better than we are, but I don't know what's the problem, if it's the injuries or what, but DeBeer is visiting this week technically, but looks like he's already committed to another school, which is unfortunate. Rowe is also visiting this week, so this is a game we need to win to help out with these 4-star guys. I don't know if we're going to be able to get Sizemore unless we get a lot of interest from his visit. Osgood has locked us out as well. Treadwell's we're number 1. Lowe has locked us out. He's committed to Toledo. Of course he commits to Toledo, literally the week we play Toledo, I think. Yeah. And Toledo's 5-2. Oh my god. Why are teams like Toledo doing so well? Like, what am I doing wrong this season? Like, why is our team all of a sudden not winning, and then these teams that are lower end are winning? Well, that's the only one injured now. As I didn't even address anything with our lineup or anything. This is a really weird season, man. But, yeah, DeBeer, we're going to have to remove him, unfortunately. Ellis, we are currently number 2 on, so we need some interest from these visits that are happening. And Osgood, we got to take him out as well, unfortunately. We do have 65 more hours, so let's start spending more hours into some of these dudes, like 25 a piece or something like that. Because we need to start locking in some recruits here. Let's actually go a 50 bomber on Nagy, because we do need a strong safety quite a bit. So let's rework these hours a bit. Let's go with 5 more hours on Whitehair, 5 more on Vales, Witherspoon as well. Witten, apparently, we doesn't reach our deal breaker, which is championship contender. Nothing we can really do on that. Let's add 5 hours on these guys as well. But this is a really weird season. I was expecting better results from our team and wasn't expecting to have this problems with bringing in some recruits too. Because I think we've had an okay job at starting this stuff, but haven't been able to lock them in. Well, this is a big game. We have a lot of guys visiting this week, I'm pretty sure. And our team is on a very bad downwards trajectory right now. So, actually, if we go quickly to the standings in our conference, what are we doing wrong? We are 0-3 against the conference, which is obviously not good. We've scored 218. We've allowed 210. So, we have been giving up maybe a bit too much, but we've also been scoring okay. We are a +8 despite being all the way down here. So there is some positives, but we've lost 3 in a row. So I don't really know if it's those injuries that are hurting us back, but we need to win this game. And it's another tough opponent. Technically, based on paper, we should be able to beat them, but we haven't had good luck this season so far. We're going to go through this weekend, and I think that might be it. We might honestly go through the entire season, potentially. I don't know how much games we have left. I think still 4 more, so maybe we'll go through this game and then call it there. But let's see if our team can get off this losing streak and start a winning streak, or else we probably won't win the championship this year at this rate. And then we might lose a lot of people this offseason, so. Sizemore has committed to Ole Miss, which I have no idea where the heck that is, but that's another 4-star recruit we lose on, and we just lost that game again. We have lost 4 in a row. And I don't think there's a chance, really, of us coming back this season, maybe. Holy crap, man. These guys have reached their top schools. Jamal's visiting this week. But since we lost that game, those people that we put a lot of work into are not going to want to come here. Hey, career record has been broken, so Robert Thomas is now the career receptions record award thing, I guess. So he beat Griffin, so that's cool. But I don't really care too much on that when our team is not winning games. 3-5, and now we have to take on 5-3 Bowling Green, who's 4-0 against the conference. Why are we so bad against our conference this season? I don't understand. Our team technically is better than they were last year in terms of overall ranking, but we're losing a shit ton. We have to remove Sizemore, so unfortunately we don't get him. Holy crap. And now we're falling to second on all these other 4-star guys. I don't think we're going to land a single 4-star. Goddamn. Well, we have 60 hours, so we might as well spend those 60 hours on some of these other guys. So let's put a good old 25er into some of these dudes, just to help out with things. Let's spend 5 on. Let's do a 5 on some of these guys as well. try and get some more interest on these prospects, but oh boy, this is one of the more disappointing seasons I think we've had in this series. Let's do a 25er on this guy for fun. And we'll do a 10er on Lord. Boom. Alright, so all the hours are spent, but is there any way this team could even get back into a chance for the championship at this rate? I don't think so. Let's go to team schedule here. Actually, not team schedule. Let's go to conference. Or not conference score. Let's take a look at the score first from last week. But I am very disappointed in this team. 35-30. That's a close game, but we just can't find a way to win these type of games. Jenny's is over 50% this time. Oh my god. Over 100 yards from a lot of wide receivers as well, which is good, but for some reason we just can't win games. I'm not too sure the reasoning on it at all. Like, if we go to the conference standings here, Buffalo is currently number 1. They're 7-1. They have good ratings. Bowling Green is somehow number 2 because they're 4-0 against the conference. We are 0-4 against the conference. And all the way down here, Eastern Michigan's also kind of slacking a bit too after last year, them winning. But why are we so bad? Why are we so bad? Like, if we sort by points allowed, that's probably it, is our defense isn't holding up. But it's a 79 rated defense, right? So it should be okay. Offensively, we're one of the better offenses in the division, or conference. But for some reason, we just allow too much, and we've lost 4 in a row. That is disappointing. Injury report. Any injuries? Nope. Let's the only one that's injured. So it's like basically the same team as last year. Except for all the people we lost, I guess, technically. But, like, what is causing this? What is causing this? Like, there's no reason why we should be this bad, right? We have how many weeks left of the season? If we look at schedules here, technically, if we go back to the MAC here, we have after this week. Wait, who are we playing this week? Bowling Green. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games left, I think. So the best we could finish on the season is technically 8-5. We have to win every game down the stretch to maybe even have a chance. I don't know if that's going to be even doable. Because as we saw in our conference, technically Buffalo already has 7 wins. Same with Western Michigan. But yeah, there's probably no way I feel like that we could actually get back to that championship this season. But maybe there is. I just don't see it right now. I am pretty damn disappointed in this team. I thought they were going to have a breakout year again this year. Last year was awesome, but we've taken a major hit for some reason. And I don't even think it's overall related to, because like I said, our overall improved in the offseason, but we just can't win, which is really strange. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Akron Zips Dynasty Mode. So in next episode, we will simulate the rest of the season. We might even get some of the offseason done in next episode, depending on if our team actually finds a way to get back into the playoffs or not. But this is not the year I was expecting. We got off to an okay start, but then our team has now lost 4 games straight, and it's plummeting down even more so. So let me know down below, and I'll see you guys next time.